Okay, move on next to our moment of silence. We'd like to next take a moment of silence, and as we take that moment of silence, we would like to remember those who are serving in our military, those who protect our many freedoms in the great nation that we live in. We would ask you to also remember our police and firefighters, our first responders, as they serve each day and maintain peace in our cities. We ask you also to remember our city council this evening, that they might make good choices and decisions as they make decisions that affects this community. We'll now take a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Move on next to public comment. I don't see any public here this evening. Is there anyone else here, Chief, or anybody that has any comment for this meeting? Move on next to the mayor's report. I have just one item. I don't know how the council was notified on this, but Sergeant Curtis Jones, after I think he spent his whole career here, didn't he, for
18 of the 20.
18 of the 20. Where did he go for the other? Weber County. That's right. I remember that now. He was in the jail. But he's going to retire. He's retired, and he'll be leaving us. I understand he's going to go work for UTA Police. They're having a little open house for him tomorrow at the police station. That's at about 1 o'clock, isn't it, Chief? It's a good time. People, if you want to stop by and thank him for his service, he's done a great job. That was funny, just hear about within the last 2 weeks, I had a resident tell me what a great job he did in helping him and how much they appreciated it. And I remember others. There was one, we did a surveillance, I know, on that drug thing over on about 800 West, 4300 South, in that area. He was over there talking to people regularly, and he's done a fine job. So if you get a chance, you might want to thank him for his service. So he's done well. Next, we have the council committee assignments. Those of you that serve on committees, do you have anything for this meeting? Okay. Move on next to our city administration report. Mr. Worthen.
Thank you, Mayor Searle. Before you, council, is our report that we submit to you for January. I would like to point out in the department reports, I'm going to pick on Sean a little bit, and in the Department of Public Works, it's not simply going out and pushing snow anymore. There's a lot of rules and regulations that our Public Works staff have to adhere to. And not only adhere to in their performance of their duties, but also to report back to the state EPA, report back to sometimes FEMA, involvement with development and engineering reviews, and of course projects, which you see on your agenda tonight. You'll see a few of those. I'd just like to recognize Sean. We had a meeting with UDOT. We were talking about the ongoing environmental study that we're looking at for the roundabout at Ritter Drive and 1050 there. And Sean came in and he was there. He was tired, but he was there that Monday morning. So I just commend the Public Works Department, Sean and his staff, and what they do for the community. It's not just, putting pipes and taking care of leaks anymore. There's way more that goes into it, understanding vegetation and fertilization and all these things that goes into having beautiful parks and taking care of equipment and playground stuff. And the list just goes on and on. I just like to thank Sean and his department this evening and note that in the reports for January. Our February anniversaries, we don't have any 5-year increments tonight to award a certificate to. We do have, it seems to be the police department this evening. Joel Pippin in our police department is 16 years of service. Like to recognize him. Jamie Boots, 14 years of service with Jamie in our police department. And then Michael McNeely, who is a fairly recent hire. Michael's been, was he with South Ogden, Chief?
Yeah, he's got about 18 years.
Total?
18 or 18.
I know he was up in South Ogden for a while. But I'd like to recognize those 3 officers for their anniversaries, yearly anniversaries, on our report to you tonight, Council. We're 2.5 down in our authorized staffing authorization plan that's in your packet as well. We have some spaces that we're looking at right now in fire and perhaps community services department as a part-time one open. Our finance report is in there as well. I did note in the last month of January that the city collected just over the $4 million mark in sales tax revenue, which is good. We cleared that mark, which we had never done before. And then also the community development project status report is included in there. That comes from Mike Agate, who's with us tonight, and our staff. Couple things of note in there is the Brookhaven building is pretty much done, and Horrocks is relocated to that building. That's the one up off 1500 West. Beautiful building, 3-story. It adds a lot of mass up there, and it looks really good. And the Horrocks engineering business that's up here in Riverdale moved into the upper floor. So nice to have those jobs in our community and the support that those jobs bring to the economic position of Riverdale. And then, of course, Quick Quack put up their signage today. I didn't note that until I went and Mike said that they'd put their signs up, and I went out on my lunch break, and sure enough, they're going up. So that project's nearing completion here. What, Mike, about a month, do you think? A month? And then they are beginning to move some soil over on the 300 West, about 4100 South Riverdale Road project, which is the old Chevron site. That's all I have, unless there are questions for me today.
Any questions? Okay. Move on next to the consent items. This consideration to approve the meeting minutes from February 4th, 2020, the City Council work session, and also the City Council regular session from that same date. So, do we have any changes or corrections? Have a motion.
Move to approve consent items.
Second?
Have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous in favor. Move on next to the action items. This is consideration to approve Resolution 2020-03. This is a bid proposal for the 900 West Road Maintenance Project. Mr. Douglas, our Public Works Director.
Thank you, Mayor. So this project is the project overlay from Riverdale Road to the roundabout on River Park Drive. As we mentioned before, it's just in need of some upkeep. It's still got a good base, still should hold up fairly well for a long number of years, and we're just going to put a 2-inch overlay on it. We'll also repair some curb and gutter along there that's starting to fail, and then also put in the handicap ramps on all of the entrances across there. And if you have any questions, I'll try and entertain them. The dollar amount on that was $216,938.75.
Any questions, Mr. Arnold?
I'd move to approve Resolution 2020-03 bid proposal for the 900 West Road Maintenance Project in the amount of $216,938.75.
Second?
Got a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Ms. Evans, would you poll the council on the resolution, please?
Councilmember Ellis,
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Arnold,
Aye.
Councilmember Hilton,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
It's unanimous in favor. Thank you. Move on to action item number 2, consideration to approve Resolution 2020-04. This is a bid proposal for the 1150 West Street sanitary sewer improvement. Mr. Douglas.
Thank you, Mayor. So this project's on 1150 West. It starts about 50-50 south and goes north to the freeway and then along the edge of the city park there. The sanitary sewer in that area has quite a number of bellies in there. And so with this project, we're just going to go in and relay that line and then take out the old line. Nice, flat, flowing sanitary sewer in that area. So, and my computer's been crazy, so I'm trying to get you a dollar amount.
We have it.
Yeah, okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions? Hey, Mr. Arnold.
Move to approve Resolution 2020-04, bid proposal for the 1150 West Street sanitary sewer improvement in the amount of $195,775 even.
Second?
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on this motion? Shaylee, would you poll the council on this resolution, please?
Councilmember Arnold, Councilmember Hilton,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Councilmember Ellis,
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Aye.
It's unanimous in favor. Thank you. Moving to action item number 3, this is consideration of approving Resolution 2020-05, awarding the contract for the River Park Drive Roundabout project. Mr. Douglas.
Thank you, Mayor. So this project's River Park Drive. It's the 2 roundabouts that are currently in place. This will replace all the landscaping and the finger islands going into the roundabout and the center landscaping. I think you've seen in your packet the design and the proposal for that. I think it should look very nice over there and be a huge improvement over what we have there. The bid for that was $270,000. We're asking to approve spending up to the $300,000 that's budgeted, just so that we don't run into a small change underground or something there that stops the project waiting to come back to council. I don't anticipate anything big, but there could be a few small little items on that just as we dig up the underground. That was put in by an outside contractor and then give to the city after the fact. And so we don't really have great as-built on what's in the ground over there. And so that's my only concern with that, really. I'd take any questions you have.
Seeing none, Mr. Arnold.
Move to approve Resolution 2020-05, awarding the contract for the River Park Drive Roundabout project in the amount of up to $300,000.
Second?
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on this motion? Shaylee, would you poll the council on the resolution, please?
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Arnold,
Aye.
Councilmember Hilton,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Councilmember Ellis.
Aye.
It's unanimous in favor. Thank you. Next, move to a closed executive session. This executive session's consideration of adjourning pursuant to the provisions of Section 52-4-205 of the Open and Public Meetings Law for the purpose of discussing real estate. We would need a roll call vote. Do we have a motion first? Do we have a motion to move into the
So moved.
closed executive session?
Second?
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Shaylee, would you please poll the council on the closed executive session?
Councilmember Hilton,
Aye.
Councilmember
Aye.
Councilmember Ellis.
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Aye.
Councilmember Arnold.
It's unanimous in favor. We're now in the